Chapter 1: The Power of Grammar. Hi, I'm Natasha, and today we're diving into the exciting world of English grammar. We're going to see how learning grammar is like unlocking the code to clear communication. Let's imagine for a moment that English is like a game. What if there were a special tool that could help you understand the rules, make sense of new words, and give you the confidence to communicate easily? That's what grammar does. It's like a blueprint that shows you exactly how to put words together so others can understand you clearly. Even the simplest phrases have a structure, and learning that structure can make English much easier to speak and understand. Why grammar matters. Grammar is like the heart of any language. It keeps everything flowing smoothly. Whether you're speaking or writing, grammar is what brings all the pieces together. As Charlemagne once said, to have another language is to possess a second soul. And by understanding grammar, you're one step closer to mastering this second soul. Without grammar, words can feel confusing or even overwhelming. But once you start learning how sentences are built, everything becomes simpler. You'll know where words go, how to connect ideas, and how to express exactly what you mean. Think about how much confidence you'll gain when you know how to put your thoughts into words that others can understand perfectly. How grammar helps you start speaking. One of the biggest fears for beginners is making mistakes. Maybe you felt nervous about trying to speak English because you're afraid of saying something wrong, but guess what? Everyone makes mistakes, and grammar can actually help you avoid the big ones. By knowing even a few basic rules, you'll have a safety net that can help you feel more comfortable and confident when you speak. Many learners feel overwhelmed by vocabulary and pronunciation. That's okay. Learning a language is a journey, and grammar is your guide. When you know where each word belongs in a sentence, you don't have to focus as much on sounding perfect. Instead, you can relax and know that the words are doing their job because they're in the right order. Check out my videos on Natasha English Academy, where I go over simple vocabulary and pronunciation tips to help you build this confidence step by step. Grammar can make English feel less scary. Imagine trying to put together a puzzle with no picture on the box. It would be confusing, right? Grammar is like that missing picture. It gives you an idea of where things go, so you're not lost or confused. Knowing grammar lets you see English with a little more clarity. You'll start recognizing patterns and knowing what sounds right without even trying. Grammar also has some fun surprises. Did you know that English sentences often have the same structure? Once you learn a few patterns, you'll see them pop up everywhere. This repetition is a secret advantage that can make learning easier. Think about it. How great would it feel to understand why sentences make sense and be able to put your own sentences together? That's the power of grammar. Comment time. Your grammar goals. As we continue this podcast, I want you to think about what you find most challenging about grammar. Maybe you get confused with sentence order, or maybe it's hard to know when to use different verb forms. Feel free to comment with the grammar points you want to focus on. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Thousands of learners face the same challenges, and sharing your goals can help you feel motivated to keep learning. Taking the first step today, we've only just started talking about grammar, but this is the foundation. From here, we'll build on these basics and explore how simple grammar can be a powerful tool in your English-speaking toolkit. Don't worry if it feels new or strange at first. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Each sentence you make is one step closer to fluency. And as you continue, remember the words of Ludwig Wittgenstein, who said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." With grammar, you're expanding your world. You're building bridges to new conversations, new friendships, and new experiences. Chapter 2. The Simple Sentence. Your first step to speaking. Now that we understand the importance of grammar, it's time to dive into our first major building block, the simple sentence. Mastering simple sentences is like learning the basics of any skill. It's the first most important step in learning how to communicate effectively. Imagine for a moment that sentences are like tiny stories. Each sentence has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And even the shortest sentences have all the parts they need to make sense. If you can learn to put these parts together, you'll be well on your way to speaking English confidently. The core of a simple sentence. At its heart, every sentence is made up of three main parts: subject, the who or what the sentence is about; verb, the action or state of being; object, the person or thing affected by the action. For example, I eat bread, she reads books, they play football. In each of these examples, the subject is doing something to an object. Notice how clear and direct these sentences are. That's the beauty of a simple sentence. It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, simple sentences are the best way to start speaking without overthinking. Why simple sentences? Build confidence. As a beginner, you might feel hesitant to speak because you're afraid of making mistakes or sounding silly. But the truth is, speaking with simple sentences can actually boost your confidence. These sentences are direct and to the point, making it easier to avoid mistakes and feel comfortable. When you get into the habit of creating these short, clear sentences, you're setting up a strong foundation that will make you feel more at ease with English. When you're out practicing, start with basic sentences about your day or your surroundings. I drink coffee. He walks to school. We watch TV. Keep it simple and practice saying them out loud. You can also find more examples on Natasha English Academy, where I have videos breaking down simple sentence patterns. These can be great for practice as you start building your own sentences. Techniques for structuring your thoughts in English. When learning a new language, your thoughts may start in your native language. This is natural, but it can make sentences feel confusing when you translate them into English. Here's a technique to help you think directly in English. Start with simple observations. Describe what you see or what's around you. For example, the sky is blue, the coffee is hot, or the cat sleeps. Repeat basic phrases. Choose a few sentences that apply to your daily life and repeat them. For example, I am learning English, or she is reading. Repetition will make these sentences feel natural. Keep your vocabulary basic. For now, try using the simplest words. This reduces the chances of feeling stuck or overwhelmed. These techniques are also called thinking in English, a powerful skill to help you avoid translating in your head. The more you do it, the faster you'll get comfortable forming sentences naturally. Comment. Time. Practice sentences. You want to learn. I'd love to hear from you. What kinds of sentences would you like help with? Think of a sentence you want to learn, or a word you'd like to use in a sentence, and comment below. This is a great way to practice and see how other learners are building their sentences too. Building strong communication with simple phrases. Think of the simple sentence as a flexible tool that you can use in almost any situation. For example, if you're in a coffee shop, you can use simple sentences like, I want coffee. Please give me sugar. The coffee is hot. These are short, but they communicate exactly what you mean. And the more you practice, the more fluent you'll sound. With simple phrases, you don't have to worry about complex grammar rules. You're focusing on clarity and directness, which makes speaking feel a lot easier. Small steps lead to big progress. Every simple sentence you learn is a step forward. Over time, these small steps will add up to a big leap in your fluency. Remember, even native speakers started out with simple sentences when they were young. They built up their language skills over years, and that's exactly what you're doing too. With each sentence you create, you're building a stronger base for your English. As John Wooden once said, it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. These small, simple sentences may feel tiny now, but they're the foundation of all your future English skills. Next steps: expanding sentences with confidence. Now that you're getting comfortable with simple sentences, the next step is to start exploring how sentences work in different times: past, present, and future. Tenses will help you tell stories, share experiences, and plan for what's ahead, giving you more freedom in your conversations. Chapter 3: Mastering the Basics of Tenses. Now that we have a solid foundation with simple sentences, let's take it a step further and learn how to tell stories, share our thoughts, and describe events with tenses. Tenses are one of the most exciting parts of grammar because they help us talk about things that happened in the past, what's happening now, and what will happen in the future. Once you get a feel for tenses, you'll be able to express your ideas in a much clearer way. As the writer John Banville once said, "The past beats inside me like a second heart." With tenses, you're able to connect past experiences, present moments, and future plans, giving your words more depth and meaning. Why tenses are so important. In English, tenses give context to your sentences. They allow you to indicate when an action happened, which is essential in making your message clear. For example, I eat breakfast. Present, happening now. I ate breakfast. Past, happened earlier. I will eat breakfast. Future, will happen later. Using the right tense can transform a simple sentence, turning it into a statement that makes sense in any situation. Knowing how to express time will also help you avoid misunderstandings and sound more fluent. 3 key tenses: past, present, and future. Let's start by looking at the 3 main tenses and examples of how they work. Keep in mind that each tense has different forms, but we're going to focus on the basics here. 1. Present tense. Talking about now. The present tense is used to talk about actions that are happening right now or habits that happen regularly. For example, I walk to school. She drinks tea every morning. This is the tense we use for routines or things we believe are generally true, like, the sun rises in the east. He plays football on weekends. 2. Past tense, talking about. Then the past tense is used to describe actions that happened in the past. This is helpful for sharing stories, talking about what you did yesterday, or explaining past experiences. For example, I walked to school. She drank tea yesterday morning. Think of it as your storytelling tense. It helps you give details about things you've done and events you've experienced. 3. Future tense, talking about later. The future tense is used to talk about actions that haven't happened yet, but will happen in the future. You often use words like will or going to indicate the future. I will walk to school tomorrow. She is going to drink tea in the morning. Using the future tense helps you share your plans or talk about things you expect to happen. Practicing with tenses. One of the best ways to get comfortable with tenses is to create examples from your daily life. Think of something you did yesterday, something you're doing now, and something you plan to do tomorrow. Try writing it out or saying it aloud. For instance, past. I watched a movie last night. Present. I am listening to music. Future. I will visit my friend tomorrow. Feel free to check out my videos on Natasha English Academy, where I provide more examples and practice exercises for using tenses in real-life conversations. Practicing these patterns will help make them feel natural, and before long, you'll start using tenses without even thinking about it. Common challenges with tenses and how to overcome them. When you're just starting out, tenses can feel a little tricky. You might find it confusing to keep track of past, present, and future, or feel uncertain about when to use each one. Here are a few tips to help make tenses easier. Focus on the basic forms first. Master the simple past, present, and future forms before moving on to more complex forms like continuous or perfect tenses. Once you're comfortable with the basics, the advanced forms will make more sense. Practice with daily activities. Try using tenses to describe your day. For example, today I eat lunch at 1 p.m. Present. Yesterday I ate lunch at 1 p.m. Past. And tomorrow I will eat lunch at 1 p.m. Future. This helps you understand the flow of time in English. Use time words for clarity. Words like yesterday, now, and tomorrow give extra clues about when things happen. They help reinforce the tense you're using and make your sentences clearer. Comment time, your experiences with tenses. What's the most challenging part of tenses for you? Is it remembering the different forms or knowing which one to use? Feel free to share your experiences in the comments. It's always helpful to hear from others who are learning English. You might even find some tips from fellow learners. Building fluency with tenses are more than just grammar rules. They're tools to help you talk about everything from your dreams to your past experiences. Once you're familiar with past, present, and future tenses, you'll be able to describe so much more about your life. Think of tenses as the time machine of language. They allow you to jump from now to the past and even into the future. And the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Learning to use tenses correctly also helps you sound more fluent. It brings a rhythm to your sentences and helps you connect ideas clearly. And with each practice session, you're getting closer to making tenses a natural part of your speech. Chapter 4. Speaking Techniques. Confidence Builders for Beginners. Now that we have a solid foundation in sentence structure and tenses, let's explore the exciting world of speaking techniques. Speaking in English might feel intimidating, But with the right techniques, you can build confidence and fluency more easily. These methods will help you practice pronunciation, reduce hesitation, and make English feel more natural. Remember, the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." By improving your speaking skills, you're expanding your world, opening doors to new experiences, and breaking down language barriers. Why speaking techniques matter. When learning a new language, the hardest part for many beginners is speaking. You might worry about making mistakes, sounding awkward, or even forgetting the right words. This is completely normal. In fact, it's part of the learning process. Speaking techniques are designed to help you overcome these common fears by giving you strategies to practice and improve your speaking skills in manageable ways. With consistent practice, these techniques can help you feel more comfortable with English and reduce the anxiety that many beginners feel. You'll be able to think in English, express yourself more clearly, and gradually feel at ease with the language. Key speaking techniques to practice daily. Here are some powerful techniques to help you get started. Each one has a unique focus, but they all work together to build your speaking skills step by step. 1. Mirroring. Mirroring is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, trying to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. You can find videos or audio clips with simple phrases and copy the speaker closely. Mirroring helps you learn the natural flow of English, making your speech sound smoother. You could try this with one of my videos on Natasha English Academy. Pick a video where I'm saying simple sentences or vocabulary words and practice saying them out loud just like I do. It's a fantastic way to build pronunciation skills. 2. Listening and repeating. This technique is similar to mirroring but focuses more on understanding before repeating. Start by listening carefully to a phrase, then repeat it in your own words. This technique helps you focus on meaning as well as pronunciation. For example, you might hear the phrase, "The weather is nice today." Listen, understand, and then repeat. You don't have to match the speaker perfectly, but try to capture the essence of what was said. This exercise improves both comprehension and speaking skills. 3. Shadowing. Shadowing involves listening to someone speak and repeating the words just a moment after they say them. It's like following closely behind, hence the name shadowing. This technique is challenging at first, but it builds speed and fluency over time. Shadowing is a fantastic way to practice timing and rhythm. To start, choose a sentence that's short and easy. For example, "I like to drink coffee in the morning." Listen to a native speaker say it and try to follow along immediately after. If it feels too fast, that's okay. Shadowing is all about persistence, and even short phrases will help. Common speaking challenges and how to overcome them. Let's take a moment to look at some of the most common challenges beginners face when speaking and tips to help you overcome each one. Feeling shy or self-conscious. Speaking in a new language can feel like stepping outside of your comfort zone, especially if you're worried about mistakes. The best way to handle this is to practice alone first. Practice in front of a mirror, record yourself, or even speak to yourself in English as you go through your day. The more you hear yourself speak, the more natural it will feel. Thinking too much about grammar. Grammar is essential, but it's okay to let go of perfect accuracy while speaking. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. If you forget a tense or make a small mistake, don't let it stop you. Even native speakers make mistakes. Focus on getting your message across first, and accuracy will improve with time. Forgetting words. This is a common issue, and it's totally normal. A great technique is to use fillers like well, or to give yourself a second to think. You can also try explaining the word in another way if you forget it. For example, if you can't remember restaurant, you could say the place where we eat. Practice will make this easier. Comment. Time. Your speaking goals. What are some speaking challenges you face? Maybe you feel nervous in front of others, or perhaps there's a specific phrase you find difficult. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Not only will this give you a chance to express yourself, but it can also help others who are dealing with similar challenges. How to make speaking a daily habit. Building confidence in speaking takes regular practice. Here are a few fun ways to practice every day, even if you don't have a partner to practice with. Talk to yourself. Choose a few sentences to say to yourself in the mirror. Describe what you're doing or how you feel, using simple sentences like, I am brushing my teeth, or today I feel happy. Think in English. Try to think in English instead of translating from your native language. Start with simple thoughts like, I need to buy milk. As you get comfortable, think about your plans or ideas in English. Use English in real situations. Whenever you have the chance, try to use English. Whether it's ordering food or asking for directions, real-life practice is valuable. Start with simple phrases and gradually build up. Remember, practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. These words by Malcolm Gladwell are an important reminder that practice is key to progress. The more you practice, the more natural English will become. Chapter 5. Building vocabulary. Now that we've worked on speaking techniques, it's time to add something exciting to our learning journey. Vocabulary. Vocabulary is like the fuel for your language skills. The more words you know, the more easily you can communicate your thoughts, feelings, and ideas. Vocabulary empowers you to make your sentences more colorful, precise, and interesting. As Mark Twain once said, the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. With the right vocabulary, you can make your words impactful and your message clearer. Why vocabulary is key to fluency. Vocabulary gives you the power to express a wide range of ideas. For example, if you only know the word good, you might feel limited in describing things. But once you add words like great, excellent, or fantastic, you can express varying degrees of positivity. Vocabulary allows you to be more accurate in what you want to say. However, building a vocabulary isn't just about memorizing words. It's about learning how to use those words in context, so they naturally become part of your speaking and writing. Effective techniques for building vocabulary. Here are some simple techniques to help you learn new words, and more importantly, use them confidently. 1. Learning words in context. Instead of memorizing words in isolation, try learning them in sentences. This gives you a sense of how the word is used in real-life situations. For example, instead of just learning the word delicious, learn it in a sentence. The cake is delicious. This way, you understand how the word fits into a sentence, and it becomes easier to remember. Also, try using the word in a few sentences of your own, like, the dinner was delicious, or this coffee is delicious. 2. Creating a vocabulary journal. Keeping a vocabulary journal is a fantastic way to organize new words. Write down each new word, its meaning, an example sentence, and maybe even a synonym or antonym. For example, word brave, meaning not afraid. Sentence, she was brave enough to try something new. Synonym, courageous. A vocabulary journal is a great tool for reviewing words regularly. You can also add pictures or drawings next to the words to help visualize them, which can improve memory. 3. Using new words daily practice is key to making vocabulary stick. Aim to use 1 or 2 new words each day in your conversations or writing. For example, if you've learned the word happy, you might say, I feel happy today because the weather is nice. Feel free to share your new sentences in the comments below to practice even more. I'd love to hear how you're using your new vocabulary. 4. Engaging in active reading and listening. Reading books, articles, or even watching shows in English exposes you to words in context, making it easier to learn and remember. If you come across a new word while reading or listening, write it down along with the sentence it was used in. Try watching one of my videos on Natasha English Academy and listening for words you don't know. Pause the video, write down the word, and look it up afterward. This is an easy way to discover new vocabulary and see how it's used. Common vocabulary, challenges and solutions. Building vocabulary is exciting, but beginners often face challenges like forgetting words or feeling unsure about pronunciation. Here's how to tackle some common issues. Difficulty remembering words. Review words regularly. Go back to your vocabulary journal daily or weekly and quiz yourself on words. You can also use flashcards with the word on one side and the meaning or sentence on the other. Unsure about pronunciation. Use tools like online dictionaries or language apps that provide audio. Listening to the correct pronunciation is essential for building confidence. Repeat the word several times to get comfortable with it. Not knowing how to use words correctly. Practice using new words in simple sentences first. As you get comfortable, try more complex sentences. Learning a word's part of speech, noun, verb, adjective, also helps you understand where it fits in a sentence. Comment time. Share your favorite new word. Is there a new word you've recently learned and enjoyed using? Share it in the comments. It could be fun to see everyone's favorite words and how they're using them in sentences. Sharing helps reinforce what you've learned, and you might even learn a new word from someone else's comment. Building vocabulary habits for daily life. The best way to expand your vocabulary is to make learning new words a part of your daily routine. Here are some simple ways to keep vocabulary learning engaging. Word of the day. Choose one new word each day and try to use it in a sentence. Many language apps and dictionaries provide a word of the day feature to help you discover new words. Label things around you. Labeling items around you in English is a fun, visual way to learn. For example, place a label with the word refrigerator on your fridge, window on your window, etc. Practice with a partner. If you have a friend or family member who's also learning English, practice new words together. Use the words in conversations and correct each other's pronunciation. Practicing with others is a great way to remember vocabulary more easily. Moving forward, vocabulary and confidence in conversation. As you continue building your vocabulary, you'll notice that speaking and understanding English become easier. With more words at your disposal, you'll be able to express yourself more fully, respond confidently in conversations, and understand what others are saying. As you work on your vocabulary, remember the quote by Charlemagne, "To have another language is to possess a second soul." Vocabulary brings personality to your language, making it feel more like an extension of yourself. Chapter 6. Putting it all together, practicing English with confidence in real life. You've reached an exciting point in your English learning journey. We've covered sentence structure, explored the power of tenses, practiced speaking techniques, and built up your vocabulary. Now it's time to put all of these pieces together and start using English confidently in real-life situations. As the poet and playwright Samuel Beckett said, "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail better." Using English in the real world may feel challenging, but each attempt brings you closer to fluency. Confidence grows with every conversation, every mistake, and every step forward. Why confidence is key to speaking English. Confidence is a big part of communicating effectively. Even if you make some mistakes, speaking with confidence helps you sound more fluent and keeps the conversation flowing. With all the skills you've gained, you already have a strong foundation. Now it's time to use it. Speaking English in real situations will help you get comfortable with thinking in English, using new words, and handling different conversations. And with the techniques we've practiced, you can take each step with confidence. Practical tips for building real-life speaking confidence. Here are some helpful tips for putting your grammar, vocabulary, and speaking skills into practice in daily life. 1. Start small. Use English in simple situations. Begin with small everyday interactions. Try using English when ordering food, asking for directions, or talking to someone new. For example, you could say, "I would like a coffee, please," or ask, "How much is this?" These small steps help build confidence and make speaking English feel more natural. You can also practice at home by narrating your daily activities. Simple sentences like, "I am cooking dinner," or "Today I am going to the park," allow you to practice without pressure. 2. Practice with a language partner or group. Finding someone to practice with is a powerful way to build confidence. If you have a friend or family member who speaks English, ask them to practice with you. You could also join a language exchange group where people help each other practice different languages. Practicing with others gives you real-time feedback and helps you get comfortable with conversational English. If you'd like, share your experience in the comments about practicing with a friend or group. It could inspire others to do the same. 3. Use English in real situations online. The internet is a fantastic resource for practicing English. You can join online forums, comment on videos, or participate in discussions in English. For example, on Natasha English Academy, feel free to leave comments in English, sharing your thoughts or questions. Engaging in online conversations is great practice, and it allows you to interact with people from around the world. There are also language learning apps where you can practice speaking with people online, even for just a few minutes each day. These short conversations will help you feel more comfortable with English. Common challenges in real-life speaking and how to overcome them. Using English in the real world is different from practicing in private. You may face some challenges, and that's completely normal. Let's look at a few common difficulties and tips to overcome them. Feeling nervous. Around native speakers. It's natural to feel nervous about speaking to native English speakers. Remember that most people appreciate your effort to learn their language, and they are often patient with learners. If you make a mistake, don't worry. Simply correct yourself and keep going. Not understanding every word. In real conversations, people speak at different speeds, use accents, or even use slang. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on catching the main ideas, and don't be afraid to ask questions like, "Could you repeat that, please?" Or, "What does that word mean?" Running out of words. Sometimes you might feel like you don't know what to say next. In these situations, pause and take a breath. Use fillers like, well, or let me think. This gives you time to gather your thoughts. You can also practice common conversation phrases to feel more prepared. Comment. Time. Your real-life practice experiences. Have you tried using English in a real-life situation? Share your experience in the comments below. Whether it went well or if you faced some challenges, your story could help others who are also learning English. Remember, we're all here to support each other on this journey. Developing a routine to make English a part of your daily life. Here are some ideas to help you integrate English into your everyday routine so you can keep improving over time. Set small daily goals. Make a habit of practicing English for at least 10 to 15 minutes each day. This could be as simple as reading an article, watching a short video, or talking to yourself about your day. Consistency is key to making progress. Think in English. Start thinking about simple things in English, like your shopping list or to-do list. The more you think in English, the more natural it becomes to speak it. Reflect on your progress. At the end of each week, take a moment to review what you've learned. Write down new vocabulary words, phrases, or sentence structures you've practiced. This reflection helps reinforce your progress and keeps you motivated. Remember, as the writer Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Every effort you make to practice English leaves a trail of improvement. Keep practicing, stay confident, and soon you'll see the amazing progress you've made. Wrapping up. Keep going. You're doing great. Congratulations on reaching the final chapter of Learn English Through Grammar. You've built a strong foundation with grammar, tenses, vocabulary, and speaking techniques. Now it's all about practice and staying motivated. As you continue your journey, remember that every small step counts. Keep trying, keep practicing, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Language learning is a journey, not a destination. And remember, Natasha English Academy is here to support you along the way. Thank you for joining me in this podcast series. Don't forget to leave a comment about your experiences, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help.